Hey everyone, welcome back to another video here. And in this video here, we're going to check out my top 5 Australian monitor lizards. Alright, I'm going to cut to the chase. You guys already know that Gil and I are probably my favourite, if not, yeah, they are my favourite, let's face it. But I'm not going to include these guys in my list because that'd just be silly. You guys already know who number 1 is, according to me. The other thing I will say is these are just my opinions. So this is just what I think, kind of off the cuff. This is what I'm kind of thinking. And you know, I'll delve into my personal reasons as to why they're some of my favourite monitor lizards. The other thing I will say is all the photos that I am using in here are from Instagrammers. Now, they've taken some fantastic photos of them. I'm a bit of a naughty boy and I haven't asked for their permission to share these, but they've all got public profiles. So I'm going to share them and credit them so then you guys can go and follow them. And make sure you do, because some of these guys, man, they've got some photos that blow it out of the water. All right, number 5. Number 5 is a local to me. And surprisingly enough, my probably unicorn local was the Heath monitor, but I'm actually going to go with the lace monitor. Now my reason is I pretty much see these guys day in, day out. They are one of the most staple lizards that I actually see out in the bush. And for that, I absolutely love these inquisitive lizards. So much so that when I've been working on work sites, I've actually had these guys coming up and sniffing my boots and all sorts. If you're on my Instagram at all, you'd notice that I've posted tons about lace monitors lately. They also come in 2 forms, which is really cool. I'm personally yet to see the bells phase in the wild. I have seen them obviously in captivity, but that being said, I really do want to see some wild bells. I gave it a crack with Simon and Kai over a year or so ago now. It was a good trip, but yeah, we struck out on the bells phase and we got some normal phase instead. All right, so number 5's out of the way. Number 4's coming in with Scalaris. So in particular, the Pelus, or the red banded form. I absolutely love Scalaris, the whole group of them. There's tons of different color varieties and all sorts amongst Scalaris, but in particular, I really love the Pelus. Believe it or not, I did actually used to have a male Pelus that I got off Monsoon monitors, or now Monsoon monitors. And yeah, man, that was a stunning lizard. But my biggest issue with that lizard was the fact that I could not find him a girl to save my life. And somebody who had some females and basically said, you know, like, do you want to sell him on? And I was like, oh, I've got to do the right thing here. I'm going to sell him on to somebody who can reproduce them. He's very capable and has reproduced them. So I made sure that at least Pelus was still in the hobby via him. Number 3 for me is a little bit of an obscure one, and one that's only been kind of on my radar really like the last few years as a really cool species. It's not taking it away from him, I just wasn't so aware of them before that. And that is the rusty desert monitor, Varanus aremius. This little lizard is so cool, especially when you see those wild type ones that are actually down there in WA and South Australia and stuff, with that red dotting and the little striped tail, and oh, they're just a cool little lizard. And you get some of those ones that have like the really red eye. Man, mint lizards, absolutely cool little lizards. And I love the fact that they only stay small, you know. I love everything small, as you know. Gil and I running around everywhere, I like my lizards small. But yeah, rusty desert monitors, what great lizards. Okay, now number 2 is actually a species that I keep. It is the Kimberley rock monitor. There's something about the Kimberley, and I haven't been there, but I feel this like pull that I just need to get to the Kimberley. I need to see these animals in the wild. I want to experience the habitat. I've experienced similar, but I don't think it's the same. I think there's something about the Kimberley in particular that's just, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I need to go. I need to go now. But yeah, the Kimberley rock monitor, man, what a stunning lizard. You cannot argue that they are one of the most pretty Australian monitor lizards in particular. I know there's others, but I don't know, man. Those red ocelots and the kind of creams and the black eye stripe and the narrow pointy head and then the banded long tail that's black and white, the contrast on them, especially when you get a real smick example like the ones that I'll throw up from Luke, you know, like those real red and black animals. Man, stunning, stunning critters. I'm like really chewing at the bit too because I've got eggs in the incubator and I can't wait to see these babies come out. I'm going to struggle selling any of these things, man. I might have to keep a couple myself if there's some good looking ones in there. The best part about the Kimberleys is I can literally just go like this and there's a pair just hanging on a rock up there. Hello guys. Number 1. Okay, so obviously we said it's not Gil and I, right? And this is one that people that probably know me pretty well might actually pick up. This will be my number 1, and it's a little bit obscure, but the black palmed rock monitor, the Twilight monitor, Varanus glebopalma, that is my number 1 pick for my favourite Australian monitor lizard by Gil and I. And the reason is these guys are like little mini parentes that live in the top end and around the top there, and they're just different. They still got that kind of like webbing on their throat and ocelots down their back, but they're smaller, they're darker, they're a little bit more cryptic as far as what I can tell from people that have actually seen them. I haven't seen them in the wild. I think there's just like a little bit of mysteriousness about them as well, because they aren't captively kept in private collections. So they're kind of one of those lizards that one day down the track, if they end up in captivity, if I have the space to do the actual animal justice, because they are one that's obviously a lot bigger than anything that I keep here, they were one that I would love to give a proper crack at, and just to have a pair of them and just watch them and build an elaborate enclosure the size of half my apartment, you know, so they can actually live in there with all these rocks. And oh yeah, like that's kind of like the stuff of dreams for me right there. So yeah, just to recap, these are just my opinions on my favorite monitors. I love the lace monitors because I see them locally. They're one of those ones that I interact with a lot on a kind of wild scale. The Scalaris peloensis, that's one that's obviously kind of near and dear to my heart. I haven't seen them really available again. I did get offered some babies back from that fella, but unfortunately I didn't have the monetary means to be able to come up with the funds for that one. But man, they are such a pretty animal, those whites and black contrast with the red speckling through the back. Mint lizard. Aremias, now they're a really good lizard that I just really think that would be another one that would be awesome to see more of them in captivity in those kind of real high contrast colors again. For me, it's all those high contrast colors. It's just trying to get those pops of red and black and those crisp tail bands and things. Man, those are just some good looking lizard. A Kimberley rock monitor, well, I'm trying with those. So, you know, like I'm kind of tweaking around with a bit of that, and yeah, hopefully Mrs. Wiggles and old mate up there, they can give me some good looking offspring out of that pair, and yeah, maybe I'll have to keep a couple. Sorry, wifey. But yeah, man, glebopalma. Glebopalma's kind of like top tier for me. That's like a one-day goal. You know, I might be 60 years old or something like that by the time I get them. But at the same time, that's kind of like my little pinnacle, my private pinnacle as far as a top shelf Australian goanna for me. Alright guys, before I wrap up this video, make sure you go and follow all of the guys that I've just put up here in Instagram. Make sure you go and check out all their posts, give them a like and stuff, because they are some awesome photographers, and the more the merrier over there. Again, credit where credit's due. These are not my photos, so please make sure you go and follow these guys over on Instagram. As for myself, go and check me out over on Patreon and Teespring. You can get yourself some awesome merch, and make sure you like the video, subscribe down below, drop the video a comment with your favorite goannas. I'd love to hear which ones are your favorite. Doesn't matter if they're Australian or not. I'm interested in hearing about overseas species as well. And yeah, maybe we can have a little chat down the bottom there. All right guys, till the next one, take it easy. I'll catch you then.